Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity in Naperville and our Sunday morning service. Thank you so much for bringing your loving energy into our space. And know that we are connected in our hearts, in our spirits, through the mind of God. So I hope you just enjoy this feeling of community with us as we spend this next hour together. And I am blessed to be here with Kim-Char Meredith, our music director. Good morning, Kim-Char. How are you?
I'm fine. Good morning.
Glad to have you here this morning. And Parker is hiding in the background somewhere, handling all of our technology. And we're definitely thankful for Parker this morning. Thank you, Parker. Oh, and so what we like to do when we begin our service is to just spend some time connecting deeply to spirit. And we're going to take the next several minutes in meditation. If you'd like to join me during this time, I'm sure that you will feel refreshed and inspired as you commit this time to doing it. So if it feels good to you, you can just close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Parker will have some beautiful music playing, and if you'd like to open your eyes, then there should be a beautiful scene on the screen. Take another deep breath. Just relax and release this past week. You may have lots of things on your to-do list. Give yourself permission right now to set those aside. They will be waiting for you later. We know as we center in now that the things we do after will be more alive with the Spirit of God, with deeper understanding, clearer wisdom, more peace in our hearts, as we first gift ourselves this connection, conscious connection to the Spirit within. Another deep breath as if we are breathing the breath of God through us. Realizing that the very essence of our being, the very life flowing through our body, does not exist without the life presence of Spirit. I take a moment now to feel that life presence, which is always perfect, always whole, alive and enlivening me now. This presence of Spirit in my life supplies my every need. Even now, I become aware of the good in my life. The financial support, the material supply, the very beauty of our physical planet, all living out of the divine substance and spiritual energy of God, infinite, without end. If there are any human fears focused on lack or limitation, I turn my thought to the presence of spiritual energy everywhere present, the very foundation of all my good. I give thanks now that every need is fulfilled. My mind may turn to all the worries and fears going on in the world now. And I realize in this moment and every moment, the answer lies within me. My mind is one with the mind of God. I allow my thoughts to be the thoughts of God. Every question I have, what is mine to do? I begin by turning within, breathing into my connection with spiritual wisdom, and allow that still small voice to guide me. And as my thoughts may drift to the condition of my relationships, to any negative judgments I may have about others, I direct those thoughts toward God love, knowing this presence of heart, of compassion, of the understanding of God is present now in me. I bring each relationship into that presence of love and allow Spirit to heal any negative thoughts or judgments I may have. I am willing to see through the eyes of love. I am willing to look for the good in every heart. I accept each person as they are and I allow myself to be who I am. As I dwell in this conscious presence of love, choosing loving thoughts, I am in alignment with this loving universe. And now, in this moment and every moment, this loving universe is harmonizing, working all things together for the highest good. I let go and let love as I remember there is only one presence and one power in this universe and in my life. It is the all-loving goodness of God. Let's breathe into that truth. Feeling relaxed as we open our eyes. And let's speak these words together as an invocation, awakening our heart and mind to this truth. The words are up here on the screen. Together, there is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. And so it is. Kim-Char, would you like to share or lead us in a song here?
Absolutely. That was a beautiful meditation, Kitty. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. What is mine to do? And I know it's hard. Things are turning our heads left and right, and we don't know where we're going. But I like what Kitty shared. I begin by turning in. I begin by centering in the divine that is right here, ever with me. I invite you to sing along. Lyrics are on the screen. Up and down, spinning around. Seems things are changing almost every day. Up and down, spinning around. But I find balance, I find my way, centered in the peace of God. Centered in the peace of God. Up and down, spinning around. Seems things are changing almost every day. Up and down, spinning around. But I find balance, I find my way, centered in the peace of God. Centered in the peace of God. There is clarity, there is wisdom, oh, there is abundant grace, centered in the peace of God. Centered in the peace of God. Up and down, spinning around. Seems things are changing almost every day. Up and down, spinning around. But I find balance, I find my way, centered in the peace of God. Centered in the peace of God. There's clarity, there is clarity, there is wisdom, oh, there is abundant grace, centered in the peace of God. centered in the peace of God. There's clarity. There is clarity. There is wisdom. Oh, there is abundant grace. Centered in the peace of God. Here I am. Centered in the peace of God. Here I stand. Centered in the peace of God. I breathe. Centered in the peace of God.
That is a beautiful place to start. Thank you for that, Kim-Char. May we be centered in the peace of God. I know it may not feel like it, but it is present in us at all times. And when we look for it, we find it. I wanted to talk with you this morning about our annual meeting that's coming up this afternoon after the service. And the board has been working for quite a while on how we want to share with you today the progress of unity in Naperville. Not only, typically we have our annual meeting in April. That got canceled. And so we've decided that we want to do a portion of it today to bring you up to speed on certain things we think you should know about, and also talk about the reopening of our building. So we'll give you instructions at the end of the service about how to join us for that. But as I was working on this message today and working on the annual meeting at the same time, I was thinking about, how normally around this season we have a membership class for people who want to run for the board, who get elected at the annual meeting. And as I thought about that membership class, I thought about something that was really important to me in it, and that is what we call ideals for membership. This is where I always tell the students, here's where Kitty got selfish. When she was founding this ministry, I was thinking about what would the perfect ideal Unity member be like? And I put together some of those ideals that I share in this class. And as I was looking at them this past week, I realized that they actually apply more than just to how to be a member of a spiritual community. They also apply to everything that is going on in our life right now in this world. And I thought today would be a good day to go over those ideals and see how we can apply them, not so much, well, yes, about being a member at Unity, but more importantly today, I want to talk about how to apply these ideals to what we're facing today. You may be wondering how membership ideals have anything to do with solving, the coronavirus or a racist consciousness or homophobia or the huge upset in our economic community. But I'm hoping that if you hang in here with me, you will see how these ideals apply and help to heal what we are going through today. And before we actually get into the ideals specifically, I want to remind you what the dictionary says about what ideals are. A few of the definitions say that they're a standard of perfection. They're an idea of beauty and of excellence. We're also talking about ideals as the ultimate goal, the ultimate object or aim of endeavor that we're reaching for. And one of my favorite descriptions of an ideal is relating to the transcendent. I had never heard that before until I looked it up this time. Ideals are related or relating to the transcendent in our life. Now, if that doesn't sound like spirit involved in our everyday life, I don't know what is. So we're going to begin. These ideals for me landed in 4 different categories. And I want to start with the first category based on consciousness. Imagine that everything we do in spiritual community at Unity, if it were driven by a consciousness of some spiritual truths that I want to go over with you. So Parker, if we could look at that up here on the screen, here's what Unity in Naperville's ideals are for a member to hold in consciousness in order to be in spiritual community. That God is the source of unlimited good, that we know there's only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, what we just said, the all-loving goodness of God. Another truth to hold in our consciousness here is that our heart holds the wisdom that will guide us, and love is the key to hearing it. hold in consciousness that we have nothing to fear. If we talk about God as the only presence and God being for us, God being love, then there is nothing and no one against us. And trusting that with God, all things are possible. Now, if you just look at that list for a minute and think about, not only does that help us be in spiritual community together, it helps us bring spirit into the community that we live in the outer world. Can you see how these truths are something that will help us guide or help guide us in our decisions, in our behavior, in the actions that we take? Can you see how these ideas are actually guiding us when we feel fear about this virus? Can you see how this idea that the heart holds our wisdom and there is nothing to fear? That when we fear a lack of income through this pandemic, that we can depend and lean into that presence of God that makes all things possible. When we're facing ignorance and bias and homophobia and prejudice, can we remember that the all-loving goodness of God is within us and all around us? So when we talk about ideals of consciousness, we're talking about reaching in our mind, in our heart, into the transcendent, not up to the transcendent, but within us to the connection of the transcendent. And as we do that, realizing that we're building a foundation on spirit, which is really the place to always begin. Jesus talked about that in seeking first the kingdom of God. But there was also a scripture that came to mind for me this week, and it's up here on the screen from Matthew 7. Can we go ahead to that slide, Parker? Everyone who hears these words of mine, this is Jesus speaking to his disciples, everyone who hears these words of mine and acts on them. Now, let me just stop there and remind you that he would say the words that he'd been sharing with people were words of spirit and words of life. So we too, when we hear words of spirit and of life from the divine mind within us, we will be like a wise man who built his house on rock. The rain fell, the floods came, the winds blew and beat on that house, but it did not fall because it had been founded on rock. That's what happens when we align our consciousness with spiritual truth. And when it looks, out in the world right now, it looks like there's something to fear. Instead, we turn our faith on, our faith in the one presence, and realize I see only one presence here, and it's God. And what I see, what I look at, I become and I express. This may look like something to fear or to fight or gain control over in what's happening in our world right now. However, we've been given a power of elimination. We can let go of those fears when we realize they're not serving us. This world may look like there is something I need to judge and label as bad. Or if I have a consciousness built on the rock of spirit, my consciousness is birthing love in my attitude, in my views, looking for the good, working for the good, desiring good for others. So this whole premise of creating a consciousness of spirit means realizing that with God, all things are possible, even when it looks like nothing is working. With God, all things are possible. That is ideal number one, that our consciousness is immersed in spiritual truth and in a heartfelt connection to God within. Our second ideal has to do with our growth, not just, any growth, but I'm talking about personal growth. When we talk about everything that's happening in the world right now and how so much change is needed, this change will only happen if it begins first in our individual hearts. And when we think about how to overcome the pandemic and the economic shortage, when we think about how to address bias and racism and homophobia, it has to begin in every person's heart. Every person has to take responsibility for growth. So let me share, first of all, what Unity's ideals are for growth. When we become a member in Unity, we're committing to personal growth, and this is how it looks up here on the screen. I create conscious communion with God through daily prayer and meditation. I'm transformed into greater and greater expressions of wholeness by the renewing of my mind. I continue my learning process by attending services and pursuing growth through the study, discussion, and practice of spiritual principles. And I express the fullness of my divine potential by discovering, nurturing, and sharing my talents, gifts, and skills. This is what we hope a member of Unity will do. Will take responsibility for their own personal growth by deepening their time in prayer, connecting with Spirit in the silence, by studying spiritual principles, by talking about them with people who are interested in learning more from one another, practicing those principles in everyday life, and also allowing that divine potential within us to make itself known as our gifts, as our talents, that we can nurture and share with the world around us. Is this not needed when we face racism, homophobia, economic shortage, sickness in our body? That we stay connected to Spirit, that we personally make time to connect with Spirit in the silence, to educate ourselves about what is going on. But then because we've spent time in the silence, we're also being educated from within, that Spirit is deepening our understanding. And we call forth that power of understanding within us so we can truly get a broader picture of why things are happening the way they are, that Spirit is guiding us toward. We also use this time of personal growth to unearth any unconscious bias, any error consciousness that we've been holding on to in our life from probably early on as a child, and allow ourselves to renew the mind as we educate and as we share and speak and learn from one another. We also take this opportunity for personal growth to expand on our power of imagination. That's a spiritual quality within you, because now more than ever, we need creativity to come forth in us to find new answers to these century-old problems, new answers to dealing with things that we've never come across before, like this virus. But this is our opportunity to do the personal growth work that allows us not only to expand and widen our own inner knowing, but to be a presence that supports other people as they're trying to heal and move forward in these very life-challenging situations. Our third ideal that we talk about in membership is in our relationships. And I think that everything that we're facing right now, the threat to health, the threat to life, the lack of income, the restricted freedoms that we have, the violence and the hatred that we seem to be seeing coming forth from people towards people of color and the gay community. All of this can be healed through loving relationships. That's what we're crying for right now, is healthy connection. And I know that, because we are still sheltering in place for the most part, or wearing masks at least, we're feeling at a physical level that disconnect from one another, that we're seeking our personal interaction, that is oftentimes a very healing experience for us to be in community with one another. So part of that is going to be healed through this relationship ideal that we'll talk about in a minute. But it also means that we should be focusing on values of respect and dignity and worthiness and trust. We should be focusing on values that accept others as they are, and also allowing ourselves to be who we are without fear. All of this is addressed when we hold to the ideal of loving relationships. And our unity ideals are a guide that will help us realize we can have difference of opinions, share those difference of opinions, but still be okay in doing that. That we can each have a different opinion, and my heavens, each one of us being a unique expression of the divine, we should have different ideas about things. We should see things from different viewpoints. But the point here is, in loving relationships, we allow that for one another. We release the need to control each other's way of thinking and allow others to be who they are. We treat each other with respect when we enter into this ideal loving relationship. We built it on a premise of oneness, that there's only one presence here. You and I are all God expressing. And even though we express uniquely, we're still connected, and whatever I do to you, I am doing to myself. Ultimately, we're being called in relationship to behold the divine in every heart. And so what I'd like you to do here as we look at these ideals for relationship, I'm going to ask you to say them aloud with me. If you look up here on the screen, these are the ideals for membership, but they're also the ideals for loving relationship in everything we're facing right now. Let's start with number 1. I recognize my oneness with God, with humanity, and with all living things. I agree and disagree in love. I speak directly to the person I have an issue with. I speak and act from integrity. And I look for the presence of God at the center of all people. This is how we create loving relationships. And if you go back to number 3 here for a minute, to me, I often point this out in the membership classes. This is one of the most important to me. I speak directly to the person I have an issue with. You know, one thing that social media has done is it has created a distance between us. It has created an opportunity for strangers to say to strangers whatever they think, no matter how hurtful, and realize, hey, what's the worst that can happen? They unfriend me. But if we wait to speak our needs to another person face to face, honestly, but non-violently, then we have an opportunity not only to connect deeply, but also to heal whatever the issue is. And this is where I want to remind you again, if you haven't heard me say this before, write it down. Marshall Rosenberg is the author of Nonviolent Communication. And his simple process will give you a formula to use to speak directly with the person that you have an issue with. It's okay to say your need. It's okay to ask for what you want. But if you can do it in a certain way that does not make the other person bad or wrong, it's simply pointing out that when I'm in relationship with you and this behavior happens, and it's a fact. So the first step is you name the fact that happened, your observation of what happened, not your opinion of what happened, but the actual thing that happened or was said. Then you share how that makes you feel, and it must be an emotion. It must be not, you make me feel like I want to hurt you. No, it's I feel hurt. I feel sad. I feel angry. And then the third step is, this is what I need when I'm in relationship here. If it's in the office, I need to be respected. Maybe it's in a family situation, I need to feel valued. Whatever it is, be clear on that. Most of the time, we don't even know what we need. So how can anyone else help you if we're not sure what we need for ourselves? So make sure you're clear on what your need is, and then even clearer on the last step, which is making a request, asking them to do something specific. Would you please be on time for our next meeting so my time is not wasted? Would you please put your dirty clothes in the hamper so that I don't have to do it for you? Would you please call me if you're not going to be home for dinner? Make specific requests of people. And they have an option to say yes or no. And here's the most important thing to hear. If they say no, if they can't help you with what you ask, you know that spirit is infinite, that God can create whatever it is your heart desires from infinite channels. So if this person can't provide for you, you can find another way to get that need met. But this is probably one of the most important things that we can learn to do to create loving relationships with one another, is not to tell somebody else how much you hate that person or your opinion of some other person or what they did to you, but to go directly to the person that you're dealing with and speak from the heart using that nonviolent communication. And typically, when people realize they're not being threatened or blamed or accused, they actually feel like they want to help you. Give it a try. So, the last ideal that we talk about in spiritual community is ownership. But in this case today, I want to talk about co-ownership, or use the word stewardship. And I'm just going to begin right now by sharing what these ideals are. So Parker, let's go ahead and put the stewardship ideals up here on the screen. And they include that I consistently share in creating a spiritual community that promotes wholeness for all who attend. I seek Spirit's guidance and consistently give of my time, talent, and treasure to support my spiritual community. I use wisdom in caring for our resources, and I support the growth and unfolding of our church's mission through the power of our divine potential. Now, when we talk about stewardship here, I want to, I'm not sure if I have a slide for this, Parker. Do I have a definition for stewardship coming up there or not? Yeah, let's take a look here. The responsible overseeing and protection of something considered worth caring for and preserving. That's what stewardship is. The responsible overseeing and protection of something considered worth caring for and preserving. So how do we apply these ideals of stewardship into the challenges that we're facing today? First of all, I'm going to ask you to consider that every person is a spiritual being worth caring for and preserving. Let's just accept that as a given. See the divine light in every person on the planet and realize the value. Each heart deserves to be cared for and preserved. So what is mine to do to help make that happen? We each have a responsibility. Stewardship is about being responsible for caring for the things that we love. So part of this is about creating a space that works for everyone involved in your space, making sure that people's voices are being heard, that everyone has a chance to say what they need, that special needs are being honored. That's being a good steward. In this community of fear, of sickness, of isolation, of bias and racism and homophobia, this is our chance to care and preserve the community as a whole by allowing people to say what they need, by listening to what their needs are. I'm also a good steward when I see the value in everyone in my community, that I'm not the one that's going to have all the answers. I'm going to make a space to allow others to share their gifts, to let others shine. I also, as a good steward, take responsibility for doing my part. What is mine to do? Right now in this pandemic, we're being asked to wear masks. When we open the building, we'll be wearing masks. We'll be giving of our resources as best we can. We have been inviting people to reach out to people who might be experiencing a shortage right now, and ask yourself, as a good steward of this community that I live in, what is mine to give? How can I support someone who is without? As a good steward, I'm about getting educated right now, understanding more deeply what's happening around me. And when it's my turn to help make decisions, when it's my turn to vote, I am informed about the issues, and I'm voting in such a way that is supporting the greater good, not selfish needs, but greater good. That's what stewardship is about. It's also about serving needs with my particular skills and talents. Who am I? What am I? What education do I have? What can I offer here into this whole community that will help fill a hole, that will help lift other people up? Maybe part of it is gathering a discussion group together just to deepen understanding. It might be sponsoring a family in need. It might be writing a personal mission statement where you have clarified for yourself why you're on this planet, especially right now. Why am I on this planet right now when all of this is happening? What have I got to give? Who am I here to be? How can I send my gifts and talents out into the world? What is my mission statement? How does it affect me internally, as far as my consciousness, as far as my attitude for being, as far as my self-esteem? And what does my mission statement tell me to go out and do in the world? All of these are ideas about how to be a good steward in the world that is faced with so many challenges right now. So Whether it's a pandemic or racism or bias or selfishness or fear, we have the opportunity every day, and I'm saying every day, to ask this question: what ideal can I serve here? What ideal can I serve into here? Some of the questions up here on the screen. Is spirit first in my consciousness? Am I letting my decisions, my behavior, my words be guided by connection to spirit first? Secondly, am I actively learning and growing in spirit and in my understanding of what's happening around the world? Third, are my relationships loving and in integrity? And fourth, am I sharing and caring for those in my community? Am I taking responsibility? Am I doing my part? This may look like a big list, but it's not too much to ask when you realize you are a spiritual being. You are an expression of the divine. You have an infinite divine potential. You dwell in a presence that is for you. You live in a universe that is for you. And so I'm going to ask you to finish with me today by speaking these affirmations that will help deepen this into our consciousness and renew our mind. Up here on the screen, let's say these together. I am a unique expression of the divine, and I am here to create good in the world around me. I am a loving expression of the divine, and I am here to see the good in the world around me. And finally, I am a powerful expression of the divine, and I am here to serve the good in the world around me. Our ideals that I mentioned from membership, that document is going to be available for you to download on our unitycommunityconnect.com site. If you go there and click on the channel for the live stream chat, you'll see that document posted there. It's also going to be in our annual meeting chat room today. So let's just take a moment and close our eyes. Take a breath and realize that whatever the world is calling for in this moment, from me personally, I give thanks, Spirit, that I have the power, I have the love, I have the wisdom within me to bring it forth. We thank you, God. There is nothing that we need to control. We simply allow these divine qualities to come forth in us. We simply let go of anything unlike love and wisdom. And we trust this divine power to flow freely through us as we reveal God's fullest and best in our personal lives and in the world. This is the truth of our being. And now we let it be. Amen. I'm going to invite you now to live into one of our ideals of stewardship, which is where we realize if this community that you're participating in this morning is supporting you, that you too can be of support to your community through your gifts. We do that by sharing our tithes and our love offerings now online or through the mail. We'll talk about that in a minute. But always, before we give, we encourage you to bless your gifts. And our blessing is up here on the screen. If you will speak this together with me. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am grateful. So if there is a button on your screen, there should be a button on your screen, both on our website and on our Facebook page, that you can donate through credit card. Or if you'd like to mail a check, our mailing address is up here on the screen, and our address is a P.O. Box 9733 in Naperville, Illinois, 60567. We bless you. We thank you for the love that you share through your gifts, knowing that you are being a presence of God in giving and ensuring and sustaining and empowering a spiritual message about hope and upliftment. Thank you for that help. Kim-Char, while people are sharing their love offerings, would you like to share a love offering of song?
Yes, and in fact, we have something a little different right now, Kitty. It'll be a video. I'm not singing it live. I recorded it yesterday. But in January of last year now, our Spirit Rise songwriting group, it was the first meeting on the power of strength, and they wrote a song that I thought would be appropriate for today. So,
Beautiful.
Here's a video of that.
Attention wandering once in a while, but that's okay. I'm never gone too long, making my way back to the place I love, to a door open wide where fire is lit. I go inside. This house stands tall. The winds may blow. This house cannot fall. The storms come and go, brick upon brick, thought upon thought, with truth the cornerstone, built upon a solid rock along a holy road. Ooh, I feel it, a door open wide, the fire is lit. I go inside. This house stands tall. The winds may blow. This house cannot fall. The storms come and go. This house stands tall. The winds may blow. Spirit, who you are, what makes this house a home? Holding on to you, letting go of fear. Spirit, keep guiding me in all we are building here. I am this house standing tall. The winds may blow. I am this house that cannot fall. The storms may come and go. This house stands tall. This house stands tall. The winds may blow. Spirit, who you are, what makes this house a home?
Thank you, Kim-Char. Man, I'm so excited for that 12 Powers project to come out.
I know. I'm excited.
If that's one of the songs, holy cow.
That's one of the songs.
Oh my goodness. Thank you for that.
Then thank you to our songwriters.
Yes.
I really am excited about our 12 Powers project.
As well you should be. Hey, why don't you sit with me for a minute and let's go through some of these announcements that are coming up. Let me remind you that, first of all, Parker, if we could see that annual meeting slide, I just want to make sure that people get set for it today and where they can go. We're going to ask you to, when we're done here, the annual meeting will begin at 12:30. So you got a minute to go get something to eat and come back to your easy chair. We will be at unitycommunityconnect.com. And if you've never been there before, you might have to do a quick sign in. Just add your name and email address. And then once you're in, you'll see a list of channels on the side. You want to look for the annual meeting channel and click on that. And once you're in the annual meeting channel, you'll see a link to go to a Zoom meeting. And that's where you can start to see everyone's faces or maybe a few faces. So don't be surprised if you can't hear each other, you can't see each other for a minute, because we're going to probably be muting you. But just want to make sure you know where to go. unitycommunityconnect.com, and then click on the annual meeting channel, and then click on the Zoom link, and we'll be seeing you there. Lots of good stuff to share. We should be done in about an hour, so I really hope that you'll stay for this. This is important. Everybody.
Hey Kitty.
Yeah.
It's an annual meeting. Is there some sort of quorum that you're supposed to have? Do you need a certain amount of people?
We don't.
Okay.
And we won't be voting on anything today.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So this is really information about past and a little bit about future, about reopening the building. So we want
important stuff.
Important stuff. That's right. That's right.
Okay.
You want to talk about the conference call that our chaplains have?
Sure. As soon as I see the slide.
It's the Prayerful Connection, Parker.
Oh,
there you
that
go.
one, yes. So that happens. Again, this is a conference call, not a Zoom link or anything. It's Prayerful Connection. It happens Monday, June 29th at 11:45 a.m. If you don't quickly write the numbers down now, don't panic. You can go to our website, unitynaperville.org, and get all the pertinent information there. You can just take the time, join the chaplains for some inspirational prayer and reading, plus the time for sharing even. You can also email your prayer requests to prayer@unityandnaperville.org.
And something new starting the following week with our chaplains is going to be prayer on call. So what they'll be doing is every Sunday after the service, if you will send an email to prayer@unityandnaperville.org, and just mention prayer on call, you need to include your name and your phone number, and they will call back and pray with you within the next half hour. So that's taking the place of us going into the meditation room one-on-one with a chaplain. They'll call you and pray with you one-on-one over the phone. You just need to let us know that you'd like that. So anytime during the week, send it to prayer@unityandnaperville.org, and then you need to be including your name and phone number, and they will be calling you back between 12:30 and 1 starting next Sunday. Also, my last Spirit Talk session is a chance for us to discuss some spiritual ideas in regards to self-esteem. And that's going to happen Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. So go to unitycommunityconnect.com and then click the Spirit Talk channel. And there'll be some documents in there that you can download for discussion. So I hope you'll join me for that this week at 7 o'clock. Kim-Char, how about lunch and Be Inspired? You want to talk about those?
Sure. Well, Lunch Together Online is happening this week, as always, Tuesday and Thursday at 12 noon. Go ahead, go to unitycommunityconnect.com, go to the Lunch Together Online channel and click the Zoom link and join us, whether for 5 minutes or for the entire hour. We'd love to have you there. It's a very casual event where we're just chatting and visiting and seeing what people are eating. Yes. And then also Be Inspired, Inspire Others happens 12 to 12:30 every Wednesday. And you can jump onto the channel, share your thoughts about the Sunday message. It's a great way to take what we've received of today and chew on it a little more, digest a little more. And again, unitycommunityconnect.com. Go to the Be Inspired, Inspire Others channel. Click that Zoom link.
Thank you. And one more. Would you talk about the 12 Powers deadline?
Yes.
It's this week, right?
Holy moly. Is today the 28th?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well,
That went fast.
That really, really went fast. The deadline for submissions was extended to June 30th. So evidently 2 days from now. Let's just we'll give you every minute that counts up to midnight on June 30th. Get it in. The last time I checked, I think I saw about 50 submissions in that box, but we'd love to have a lot more. And, I can't off the top of my head recall. There are a few of the 12 powers where we need a few more submissions. I will post it later on today in the 12 Powers Project channel on Unity Community Connect.
Great, thank you. Mm-hmm. Now, I've been telling you about our Safe Hearts channel, and this is a place where you can come and be educated. Remember, one of our ideals is personal growth, taking responsibility for understanding what's happening in the world around us and connecting it to our growth in spirit. So what we've been doing is posting resources for us to better understand unconscious bias and release that from our consciousness. It's a good way to just understand what's happening in the Black Lives Matter community. And also there's materials in there to better understand, or for the LGBTQ community to better understand what they may have heard from the Bible in the past may not be as relevant as we think it is. And so it's a chance for us to have a broader view of that. Lots of materials in that channel. UnityCommunityConnect.com. And then go to the Safe Hearts channel. Yeah. Now, one of the resources that I wanted to point out today that I put in there was a link to our Unity Worldwide headquarters. And they've got a series of resources that are being given by several of our Unity people. So check that link out. It's up here on your screen too, unity.org/stand together. And then one other thing I wanted to share for educational purposes today is a very brief request from a Black man who wrote an opinion column in a website called alabama.com. And the name of the article is "I Don't See Color and Other Things White People Must Stop Saying to Black People." So this is some quick education. I don't see color. We get it. You're trying to say you see us, as Reverend Martin Luther King once dreamed, for the content of our character, not our skin tone. You're trying to say you don't see me as any different than you. You don't see me as a threat, as dangerous, as a thug, as someone who hasn't earned the right to be in the room with you. You don't see me as less than. Cool. Much appreciated. You're also saying, though, you don't see us. As Black people or African Americans, whichever you're most comfortable with, either is cool. You don't have to ask us which we prefer. We want you to see us. See all of our brilliant Blackness, all gradations of it. See our very Black journey, our very Black experiences in this nation, and hear how they shaped our perspectives, our views. Perspectives and views that may or may not be different than yours. Views significantly influenced nonetheless by being Black in America. Every day. See that. I just thought that would be a good perspective for us to be aware of, and that was written by Roy Johnson. Thank you, Roy. Okay, one last comment. This is a big one. Are you ready for it? Take a big breath. I'm very excited. Highest Good, our band, Highest Good, is back in the house next Sunday.
Yeah!
See this chair? Last time you'll be seeing this chair, I hope, for a while.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, chair.
The Sunday team will be going back to the building to start sharing our services live stream together. There will be 10 of us in the room. We will be honoring social distance, and it's an opportunity for you to get your music back in your life. Thank you, Kim-Char, for your beautiful guitar and your beautiful music, and I know you're probably looking forward to having some support system around you.
We're getting the band back together.
Yes. We will have a couple people working technology. We will have an announcer joining us, and I will be there. So please come. Join us on our live stream next week, and you'll see us in the sanctuary. You do not get to come. You stay home. We won't be allowing attendees in yet. We'll be talking about that at our annual meeting, but you will be seeing the sanctuary again. Parker, you saying something? No, you're good?
So enjoy your jammies and your coffee a little longer during the service. Yes.
Exactly. Okay, let's go finish today with our affirmation for the week. If we can see that up here on the screen. And let's say these words together. Through divine love, power, and creativity, I serve the highest ideal in every challenge. Kim-Char, would you like to lead us in a last song?
Yes, everyone ready to sing? So normally I sing, and then you repeat the line, but I guess we can just all sing the first line twice. How's that? I've got the mind of God in me. I've got the mind of God in me. I've got everything I need. I've got everything I need. I've got it all. I've got it made. I've got it oh so good. I've got the wisdom of God in me. I've got the wisdom of God in me. I've got everything I need. I've got everything I need. I've got it all. I've got it made. I've got it oh so good now. I've got the power of God in me. I've got the power of God in me. I've got everything I need. I've got everything I need. I've got it all. I've got it made. I've got it oh so good. I've got the love of God in me. I've got the love of God in me. I've got everything I need. I've got everything I need. I've got it all. I've got it made. I've got it oh so good.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So good. Okay, my beloveds, we would normally be taking your texts and your comments right now and answering questions, but because we have our annual meeting coming up, you'll have a chance to do that there. It starts at 12:30, so you've got some time to go get your coffee, get back and check in early so you make sure that your technology is working. And up here on the screen, here's the directions one more time, unitycommunityconnect.com. And once you're inside, you've logged in, you can click on the annual meeting channel. And inside the annual meeting channel will be some documents that you may want to look at for the meeting. And then also the link, just look for the Zoom link inside the channel and join us face to face. Our board will be waiting for you, and we're looking forward to sharing some good news and important news. So hope to see you there. And as we leave today, we want to share that wonderful I Am Beautiful video with you that we produced a couple weeks ago, last week. Gosh, time flies. Hey, guess what? We're up to 3,800 views of this.
I saw that stat too. It's 3,800 views, and I believe there are like 90 shares. So people have been really sharing the video, and that's
way
wonderful.
to go. Love you guys. See you in a little bit.
Bye. I've got the love.
I am beautiful, I am powerful. I've let go of my past and celebrate who I've become. I am beautiful, I am powerful, and I celebrate who I am. celebrate who I've become, and I am beautiful. I am powerful, and I celebrate who I am. Yes, I do, 'cause I am beautiful. I am powerful. I let go of my past, and I celebrate who I've become. I am beautiful, so powerful, and I celebrate who I am. Yes, I celebrate every day. I'm gonna celebrate. I'm gonna celebrate. I'm gonna celebrate. Oh, my beauty, my power, my wisdom. I'm gonna celebrate now. Celebrate. Oh, yeah. Where I'm going now, I'm gonna celebrate, celebrate, celebrate now. I'm gonna celebrate my talent, my girlfriend. Celebrate every day. I'm gonna celebrate. So I celebrate all of you. Yay.